Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another video. Today I am reviewing episode 127 of Dragon Ball Super, titled The Approaching Wall, the Final Barrier of Hope. Guys, there's a lot to discuss in this video, like Android 17 securing his MVP status. I'm gonna discuss Goku and Vegeta getting to their limits and the first glimpse of a plan to defeat Jiren. I'm gonna also be talking about Jiren's past. Guys, this video will likely be on the longer side, so if you have the time, find a nice place to relax and let's talk Dragon Ball Super episode 127. But real quick before we get started, guys, my name is Dooley. You can find me at youtube.com/Dooley. But you won't just find me, you will also find a community of over 46,000 Dragon Ball Super fans, a growing family, and you are welcome to join. You can do so by clicking the subscribe button below this video or the link in the description. If you do decide to do that, then welcome to the family in advance. All that aside though, guys, let's hop into this review. So the episode starts right where 126 left off. Jiren commends Vegeta for being able to defeat Toppo without tossing his values aside, and then he begins to power up. Right away, I want to talk about this for a second before we go any further, because I think it's pretty cool that we have Jiren acknowledging Vegeta's strength and way of thinking multiple times in this tournament. In fact, I think Jiren has acknowledged Vegeta and shown more respect for Vegeta in this tournament than he has for Goku, calling Vegeta a warrior and now commending him. I think there are more scenes in this episode of Jiren doing this again. We're going to talk about them when we get to them, but for now, I really respect that Jiren is doing that in regards to his fight with Vegeta. Jiren acknowledges and respects the prince. Let's keep going though. Jiren is powering up and everyone is amazed at how much energy he still had inside of him. Goku said something along the lines of, "I can't believe he was still hiding this much power." At this point, I'm thinking that the power that Jiren has shown in this tournament so far is already enough, is already impressive. So if Goku is saying that, then I don't even know what to think at this point. We see a close-up of Jiren and his aura, and I'm just gonna be honest with you guys, it looked like Jiren is just trying to show off. It looks like he is saying to Goku and Vegeta, yeah, when you guys power up, you get one aura. I get like 7. Seriously, Jiren's aura had different layers with fire and then lava and then colors and everything. I've never seen a multi-layered aura like that. Outside of maybe Goku stacking Kaioken on Super Saiyan Blue, but still, that's only 2 auras. We're seeing Jiren with at least 4, at least. Anyway, Jiren lands in front of the crew and then his aura disappears. At this point, I was a little bit disappointed, but one thing I want to make clear here, and I've said this in other videos, because someone's aura disappears for us, it doesn't necessarily mean that it's no longer there. Like I said, I've said this before, and I see people try to argue this in the comments, but this isn't an opinion, it's a fact. It's been stated multiple times that in most cases, auras are invisible. They are just drawn to help us visualize the intensity of the situation, but they're not really there. Like Goku and Vegeta can't see it, for example. I know without a doubt there's gonna be someone in the comments pointing out when some character somewhere saw an aura, and that's besides the point. I'm telling you what the creators of the series have said multiple times over. Either way, that would explain why when Jiren landed in front of the crew, his aura was no longer there, but he was clearly still much more powerful than he was before in this tournament. Or at least that is what was being implied. But let's keep going. Jiren begins his assault on Universe 7, and to my surprise, at least for a few moments, Universe 7 felt like they were holding their own. Goku and Vegeta hop back into Super Saiyan Blue and Limit Breaker respectively. Android 17 powers up, and all 3 of them are doing what they can to push Jiren back. The show makes it clear that Jiren is almost a little bit annoyed by this. There is a moment of frustration in his face where he's almost like, why do you guys keep trying? He calls them impudent gnats and then knocks them away. Listen, Jiren is strong, but someone needs to help him with his smack talking game. Who still calls people gnats? Anyway, he knocks all 3 of them away and decides he wants to target Vegeta for a second, but the teamwork from Universe 7 was just too strong in this episode. Did anyone else notice that? These guys were fighting together like they've been fighting together for years. I mean, I guess that's true for Goku and Vegeta, but Android 17 just seamlessly melded himself in there. Goku starts shooting some ki blasts at Jiren, and as soon as Jiren Jiren started reacting to Goku, Vegeta charged up a Final Flash, and Android 17 charged up a Ki Blast of his own. They both fired at Jiren simultaneously. We had a really cool scene of their Ki Blasts scraping alongside each other, creating these sparks. There's an explosion and then about a couple seconds for us to see what damage it did to Jiren. You guys don't need me to tell you it did absolutely nothing to Jiren. Jiren proceeded to fire his own Ki Blast at Vegeta and charged at him, and then out of nowhere, Mr. MVP himself, Android 17, charges at Vegeta, knocks him out of the way, and takes a kick and a Ki Blast point blank from Jiren. Let me stop here for a second because I don't want to undermine Android 17. Like I said in my last video, I've gained quite a bit of respect for Android 17 throughout this tournament. I now consider myself an Android 17 fan. But I feel like Android 17 was doing more than overperforming in this fight. And here's what I mean. Some of the things that he was able to keep up with and accomplish just didn't make sense to me as far as what power level I expected him to be on. I'm gonna talk more about that in a little bit, but this is the first example of that I can really give you. Android 17 takes a full punch from this fully new monster power-up Jiren and a Ki Blast from point blank, and for some reason he is not then immediately and permanently out of the fight. Kudos to Android 17 for surviving that, but in all fairness, there's one of two things going on here. Either this is just bad writing, or maybe because Android 17 knew what he was going to do at the end of this tournament, he was just pushing himself beyond everything, like throwing punches with broken bones, etc. That is the only way I could justify, in my mind, some of the feats Android 17 was able to accomplish in this fight with Jiren. But let's keep going. Instead of thanking Android 17, however, Vegeta says, and I quote, "Damn, Android, I didn't need that." Vegeta then charges Jiren and got a few punches in, all of which Jiren appeared to have blocked. Goku tries to attack Jiren by charging him from behind while Vegeta was attacking from the front, but Jiren counters by knocking Vegeta away and turning his attention to Goku. Now it's Goku's turn to throw some punches at Jiren, but Jiren does the same thing. He blocks them, and while in this fight with Goku, some Ki Blasts come raining down from above. Vegeta is back in the fight. He throws a solid punch at Jiren. Jiren catches it and says, "I can see why you were able to defeat Toppo. Good punch." Again, here is another example of Jiren complimenting and showing respect to Vegeta. Jiren counters Vegeta's punch with a punch of his own. The difference is that Jiren's punch was so powerful, it knocked Vegeta completely out of Limit Breaker and removed him from the fight. Goku sees this, he yells Vegeta but continues the fight. He charges at Jiren. Jiren tries to punch him in the same way he punched Vegeta, but Goku used instant transmission to get above Jiren and hits him with a powerful Kamehameha. Jiren counters by powering up a little bit and sending his punch up through Goku's Kamehameha wave. The punch traveled up, destroying the Kamehameha and hitting Goku, knocking him down and temporarily removing him from the fight as well. Jiren begins moving in for the finishing blow on these two Saiyans when all of a sudden there is a tap on his back. He turns around to Android 17, charging up a Ki Blast that hits him in his back at point blank. Guys, Android 17's attack disintegrated part of Jiren's uniform, part of his shirt, to expose that Android 17 managed to do the first bit of what looked like significant damage to Jiren. And this is another example of what I was talking about, those Android 17 feats. Keep in mind that Ultra Instinct Goku couldn't damage Jiren. Limit Breaker Vegeta couldn't damage Jiren. These are God of Destruction or above level fighters, and they could not damage Jiren. But Android 17 could, and the explanation for this was really shaky. Anyway, before I get to the explanation, I want to tell you guys about another amazing feat by Android 17. After he managed to damage Jiren's back, Jiren gets upset and begins to charge at him. However, Android 17 was able to rapidly fire Ki Blasts at Jiren. And guys, guess what? By himself, Android 17's Ki Blasts were able to not only stop Jiren, but push him back. Please, someone explain these amazing feats to me. Android 17 jumps over Jiren, who seems startled by this, and then this is where we get the explanation from Goku. Goku says, "You are really amazing, Android 17. Thanks to your attack, I now know how to deal with Jiren. He said, it looks like getting hit with an attack that big unguarded can hurt him. Hey guys, this is the point where my brain exploded, because I feel like this is saying drinking water when you're thirsty helps quench that thirst. It's like, seriously, no shit. Hitting Jiren with a big attack when he's unguarded, isn't that what they've all been trying to accomplish this entire tournament? But for some reason, Android 17 was able to identify and capitalize on Jiren being unguarded, while Ultra Instinct Goku and Limit Breaker Vegeta could not do that. How Android 17 pulled that off, that's what I would like to see explained. And again, I'm not knocking Android 17, I am a fan of the guy, but some of the stuff he was able to do here just sorta didn't make sense to me. There is a bit of dialogue between Vegeta, Goku, and Android 17. They are going to try and have Goku and Vegeta distract Jiren while Android 17 hits him with an even bigger attack. Jiren is standing in front of them looking unimpressed. He says, "Are you guys done with your scheming?" Vegeta responds, "We're going to pay you back for what you've done to us." Goku says, "Now it's our turn," and the three begin their second combined attack on Jiren. Goku and Vegeta are in a hand-to-hand fight with Jiren, while Android 17 hangs back looking for an opening. As soon as he sees it, he fires a giant ki blast at Jiren. It connects, but Jiren says this won't work a second time. He powers through the ki blast and charges at Android 17. Android 17 tries to put up some shields to protect himself, but Jiren easily smashes through all of them. He punches Android 17, throwing him back into some rocks. But again, another amazing feat by Android 17. It seemed to have little to no impact. He quickly recovers and fires another ki blast at Jiren. Goku and Vegeta decide that they're going to send their own ki blast as well. The three of them fire their ki waves at Jiren in an attempt to overpower him, but Jiren simply powers up, pushing all their ki blasts back and significantly damaging Goku and Vegeta. The two Saiyans and Android 17 fall to the ground, all almost completely paralyzed. Or at least for now, this is what we thought. Surprisingly, however, Frieza shows up and he's a madman. He's like screaming all crazy. He first starts attacking Jiren in his base form, then he transforms into his golden form. He says he's gonna pay Jiren back for what Jiren did to him. He said screw the rules, he is going to kill Jiren. He charges Jiren in golden form, and Jiren proceeded to easily dominate Frieza, completely knocking him out of the fight. This kind of confused me a little bit because I didn't really get why Frieza was so upset at Jiren. I know Jiren hit him with a ki blast at the end of 126, but God of Destruction Topo did way worse to Frieza, and I didn't hear Frieza saying screw the rules, I'm gonna kill you. So I don't really get what is going on with Frieza. I don't know why he's acting so strange. He keeps getting embarrassed over and over. I think the writers are saving him for something bigger towards the end of this tournament, and for now they just sort of don't know what to do with him. If someone knows or have a better idea about what's currently going on with Frieza, leave it in the comments and let me know. Maybe that attack where Topo squeezed his skull caused some sort of permanent brain damage or something. Either way, leave it in the comments and let me know what's going on with Frieza. Well, let's keep going. Immediately after taking care of Frieza, Jiren is hit in the back by a ki blast. He turns around and it's Android 17. So let me just put this into perspective for 1 second. Android 17 tanked the same attack that paralyzed Goku and Vegeta, Super Saiyan Blue Goku and Limit Breaker Vegeta. They cannot move at the moment, but Android 17 is back up, and not only that, he is challenging Jiren by himself. Guys, we're not done with crazy feats for Android 17. The fact that he's standing here challenging Jiren after that attack heavily implies that he is stronger than Golden Frieza. Much stronger. With just a fraction of the damage that Android 17 has taken from Jiren so far in this fight, Frieza is down for the count. We do not see him again in the rest of this episode, but Android 17 is still on his feet. Someone please explain this to me. Jiren asks Android 17, what can you do by yourself? What can you do alone? And Android 17 responds, I haven't given up yet. Universe 7 will not lose. We will survive. And this is where the God of Destruction from Universe 11, Belmod, gets involved. He asks Android 17 a question. You will survive, and then what? What will you use the Super Dragon Balls to wish for? And Android 17 says he is going to wish for a trip on a cruiser with his family. Android 17 then says, "What about you, Jiren? It seems like you're only concerned with strength." And Jiren responds with, "Even I have a wish I want granted." We then go into a monologue from Belmod. He is explaining why Jiren is so obsessed with strength. The monologue is accompanied by a flashback, and we are introduced to baby Jiren. And guys, yes, we are going to do this. I don't care if he's a baby. Look at this. For $2 a month, you can buy me some clothes version of Jiren. Look at this bald head for life, fly on the wall looking version of Jiren. Seriously, I see a ton of people talking about baby Jiren is so cute. We're gonna kill that right here. This is not cute. This copy and paste ET ripoff needs to get out of here. Alright, I'm just kidding. Let's keep going. It turns out Jiren's family was killed when he was a child by some mysterious evil force. Jiren then met a mentor who he trained under. He gathered other people and they were confronted with this mysterious evil force once again. However, they lost again, and all of Jiren's comrades, including his mentor, were killed. Jiren tried to form another resistance, but at this point, no one was willing to trust or follow him, and that's when he learned that he needed to be strong. People only follow strength, and that's why he's so obsessed with strength. I'll likely do another video about this specifically. In all honesty, the backstory was pretty meh, but I'm happy we finally got something. I'm happy we now know a little bit more about what's actually going on with Jiren. Anyway, we hop out of the flashback, and it turns out that while Belmod was talking, Jiren told Android 17 what the wish was, but we didn't actually get to hear it. I'm assuming it had something to do with what we saw in the flashback, like Jiren's family, or his ability to gain the trust of others, or something revolving around strength, something like that. But unfortunately, we didn't actually get to hear the wish. Android 17, on the other hand, did hear the wish, and he was surprised. He said, "Wow, that's actually a pretty human wish, and here I thought you were just a killing machine." Android 17 then said, "Trust, huh? So you were just using those guys you fought with," which implied that the wish had something to do with trust. Anyway, this comment infuriated Jiren. He attacked Android 17, and there is a clash of fists. Android 17's shirt starts to rip, but he is holding his own. Here is another feat, unbelievable feat from Android 17. He clashes with Jiren and is holding his own. Android 17 tells Jiren he is obsessed with the past. He noticed how upset that made Jiren and said, "It looks like I hit a nerve there." But that's where Jiren says, "Screw this." He jumps back and fires a ki blast big enough to eliminate Goku, Vegeta, and Android 17 all at the same time. I mentioned earlier that Android 17 secured his MVP status in this tournament. He's done a lot of crazy, unexpected things in this episode, in this fight with Jiren, but this by far takes the cake. He jumps in front of Jiren's attack, putting up his barrier, also shielding the paralyzed Goku and Vegeta. And then, ladies and gentlemen, he detonates himself. He detonates himself, nullifying the blast from Jiren and saving the two Saiyans. Just for some quick clarification though, I'm pretty sure he detonated himself via his own ki, not using the bomb that Dr. Gero placed inside of them when they were made. That bomb was removed by Krillin in Dragon Ball Z. Anyway, I did not see this coming. I did not see this sacrifice coming. I think it was handled really well. I wanted to tear up a little bit, and that's why I have a hard time pressing about the inconsistencies revolving around Android 17 in this episode. Hashtag Android 17 MVP below. He really earned that MVP status in my opinion. I did not see this coming. Anyway, with Android 17 gone, Jiren prepares for his final attack on the paralyzed Goku and Vegeta, but Vegeta will not go down that easily. Through sheer willpower alone, Vegeta stands up, ready to face Jiren again, and this is where the episode ends. But that is all I have for you guys. Guys, this is by far my longest episode review. Some of you guys have been asking for a longer format, so here it is. If you made it this far, then thank you. I really appreciate it. What did you guys think of this episode? Leave it in the comments. Let me know. Hashtag Dooku. Thank you guys for all the support. Feel free to follow this channel on social media links outside of YouTube. Links are in the description. Have a great day. Bye.